Hi there, ready for the next demo? This time we are going to be building a warm traffic-based ad campaign. And it's going to further, hopefully, build on the last one that we just did, the cold awareness ad. So now we're moving people along. They're in the very important middle stage of that funnel, and we've got to keep them moving towards conversion to get them to purchase or subscribe or click or whatever it is our goal has been determined to be. So let's get into it here. We have, again, got our asset ready to go, and in this case it's SMM2 because it's the social media marketing program that we're creating this ad campaign for here at Social School. And the Meet the Instructors carousel using a series of still imagery is what we're going to be using. So again, we've created these in advance. We feel like this is a nice complement to our video ad campaigns on the cold and the hot side with this warm carousel right in the middle. And don't underestimate the power of carousel ads as people move more and more towards video ads, or they're still stuck in a single image ad. A carousel that's dynamic and gets people wanting to scroll through can be really powerful and perform quite well because there's not as many of them, we're told. We're finding great success with our carousel ads. So let's head on in. Instead of awareness, top of funnel objective, this time we're choosing sort of middle of funnel traffic. I really like building traffic ads in general because that's so often our goal. Drive traffic to our site and get them to take action. So I'm going to again lean on my Trello board, which outlines my ad. It's sort of my mapping tool. And this time we're in the warm Trello card. If I look at the full description, I once again know that I've got my campaign name written out in advance that matches my naming conventions. My ad set name created in advance, which is a reference to budget, time frame, audience, whatever I feel is necessary, and then a quick reference to the actual ad itself. And in this case, that's the instructors carousel, because we're basically introducing Jamie and I as your fearless instructors. The duration, the budget, and again, the audience for quick reference. So the only thing I'm going to copy for now is the campaign name, and we'll keep it moving. So campaign name is going to be SMM2, warm traffic, meet your instructors, etc. Let's head on in. What do we need to do at this level? As we determined in the cold ad, we don't need to declare that we're in a special category. We're not going to A/B test this thing or mess with the buying type. We are simply going to say that our budget here is $30 a day. $50 a day on our cold, $30 on our warm, and we're going to do $20 a day on our hot for a total of about $2,000 over 24 days. That's hopefully going to garner 10 times that in sales, but we shall see. Next up, we're at the ad set level, so let's go back into our planning card and just grab the name of our ad set and pop that in there. And then again, this one's a little different than the last one because we're not talking about driving awareness and overall impressions. We're talking about driving clicks on the ad and to our website. So traffic is presented website is presented as an option as where we're directing people. And of course that works really well for us, but you can choose Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever you like if you want to send them elsewhere. Are we providing dynamic creative? Well, they're going to give us that option anyway. So this always kind of confuses me. But if we wanted to create dynamic creative here, we could. Instead, we're going to do that at the ad level when we get creating our beautiful asset. Do we want to create an offer? We could. Offer ads are powerful, but that's not our intention here. If you did choose that, and I encourage you to play around with every different option within Ads Manager and just see what it's about. You don't have to proceed with it, but we would be able to create a coupon or a limited offer or something that they could redeem, etc. And those, again, can be really powerful. Budget and schedule, much like the last guy, we're going to start this baby tomorrow morning at 1 a.m. So it's fresh off the press. And it catches that algorithm and tells it how great it is, and the ad is going to perform well right out of the gates. And we're going to end this on the 14th of November at 12 p.m., given that our program starts on Monday the 15th. That gives people plenty of time, and hopefully our ad plenty of time to perform well. Okay, Now, most important part of the ad set level is the audience. And as I mentioned in the last video, we're going to be doing some kind of combination of custom audiences here. We're not stabbing in the dark anymore with interests and behavior and job title targeting. We're choosing people who have engaged with our content, been on our website, clicked on our ads, and subscribed to our e-newsletter. They know about us. They've been paying attention perhaps to our social media marketing content, and we want them to buy. So instead of being in my saved audiences, I'm going to go for my customs. And this is kind of cool because I can add a number. I can stack my existing custom audiences on top of each other. I can't do that in the saved. I'd have to add a couple together in my audience manager and then utilize that. But in this case, I can say, yep, let's toss in the master list because I know what that is. I built it in audience manager and it's got all of our subscribers on it. Try to ignore some of these error messages for a minute here. I'm going to say all website traffic within the last 90 days. I'm going to also add in from my HOTS, Facebook page engagers for 180 days. And also, if you can see to the very bottom, what's cutting me off? Darn it, let me just stretch this out. You won't be able to see it. Instagram page engagers. There we go. So I've got a few here now that I can utilize and they're going to combine. When we are trying to find in the top right corner audience definition, when it comes to custom audiences, it is tough. It has always been tough. This isn't just because of new iOS privacy rules. And they're not just going to tell you that, in fact, people now have privacy blockings or settings set to stronger levels on their phones and mobile devices, and thus your audiences may decrease in size. It's always been difficult to add custom audience to custom audiences and get an accurate number of your audience size or an accurate picture. So you have to be aware of how these ads perform. Think about the fact, are you driving any traffic to your website? Do you know that those people exist and is your pixel firing properly to retarget them? Do you have people engaging with your content that you know Facebook's going to serve back up again? Do you have people on your list that you were able to successfully upload 10,000 names to get 2,000 or 3,000 into a, proper custom audience out of that? So it's one of those things that you kind of have to play with a little bit. And take some of Facebook's error messages with a grain of salt because all of this new iOS 14.5 security stuff is new and they want to try and push you into other types of audiences. However, we know that retargeting is still very powerful and that in a lot of cases, especially on desktop, we can reach people unbridled. So don't just assume that you're going to have your ads cut off. And if they're performing really poorly, great. Don't go that way and go back to using more interest behavior-based ad targeting. Or some of the micro geo-targeting that we've talked about, where you can really narrow in on a city block. Okay, from here, we can also, of course, exclude anybody that we would need to. So perhaps someone who's already purchased. This is where I would include an audience of people that have made it to a certain page on my website, but not made it to my thank you page or my checkout page. So I should probably think about doing that and ensure that it's pre-built, both the audience and the page that's going to track whether or not someone purchased. Otherwise, we're just wasting our money and serving up the same ad to someone who's already bought, and that's the worst way to waste your money. I'm going to keep it Canada-wide. I know that my cold audience was just for sort of the prairies, but in this case, I'm going to say let's take the whole country because if you've been on our site or you've engaged with our content around the social media marketing certificate, I want to capture you with this warm audience because maybe I didn't capture you with my ad campaign. I'm going to leave age. Actually, I'm going to edit this a little bit. I'm going to change this to be 21. And I'm not going to go 65 plus. I'm going to stop it at 63. That's a bit of a random bracket. I'll give you that. But I like it. I don't like to go 65 plus just simply because then they're not necessarily my primary customer. And I find that sometimes the budget gets pushed really high or it skews really high. My ads are served up to an older audience as opposed to some of the middle. So I may even tighten that up further. All genders, fine. Detailed targeting, I'm not going to go there because we've already basically covered that in our audience building. Okay, and then automatic placements. Yeah, you know what? Because my audience is going to be smaller this time around, I'm going to serve this bad boy up wherever Facebook will let me. So every type of placement that we're allowed for our carousel ad, let's give it a try. And if it looks like garbage, I can always come back and go manual placements and turn off something. Okay, so I think we're ready to move forward. I'm going to pull that back up for you and just show, or just go to next. And what do you know? We're now at the ad level. Amen. So this ad is called SMM2, Instructors Carousel. And my page, my Instagram account, they're all set up. And I'm going to go with the carousel option. Now, I know from experience that I need to have tight little headlines or little sort of captions to go with each image in the carousel. So I have pre-written my copy to that end. So these tight little headlines, I'm going to try and load up 10 images because that's a long carousel, but Facebook will let me. Why not? And I'm going to have a different headline or a little caption for each one. So I had to write them really tightly, and we'll see how they render. If they look like crap, then I'll shorten them even more or repeat some or something. So my headlines in this type of ad are different than the last type of ad, the video ad. My primary text, I'm going with that long form again, just really doubling down on the diatribe, but up to you how long you want yours to be. Okay, so what am I copying here? Well, let's just go back and see. So the carousel, I'm going to skip the instant experience again for some simplicity. And it wants me to manually choose images, videos, and links. And yes, I'm going to do that. Interestingly, if I wanted to fill it out or fill my carousel cards from a product set, aka my Facebook or Instagram product catalog, I could. There's my catalog right there. And look at that. It's pulling in my shop. And I can say, no, I want to go with, the 360 series, or no, I want to go with some other collection. And now it's creating this great little ad set for me. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see what that would look like. It's not giving me a ton of, copy on it, but if I was to add in some sort of really interesting, let's do that. We know we're going to need this in here in a minute. So I'm going to add in my primary text. And let's just see where it shows up if we were to run with a shopping ad. Primary text goes, there we are. Okay, and let's get this URL in right away as well, because it's really important to see how much room it's going to take up on the ad before we start adding in all of those captions and thinking that they look so great when the URL could in fact truly shorten them. The display link, of course, I'm going to, oops, I did that wrong. I want it to be just the end without the www. We don't need to worry about the deep link to the website. Again, that's if we're talking about deep tracking. So the see more URL, the display link URL, it looks pretty good. And again, this little carousel is actually kind of cool. So if we were to see it on Instagram, it would look like this, and we'd have all of these nice little cards from pulling right from your product catalog. And there you go. That's actually a really good evergreen ad to think about running. Okay, so instead of doing that, however, we're going to be creating our own manual carousel. So let's go ahead and do that. You'll notice that they're giving us, and I always like to have my preview set to the most basic placement, which is the Facebook feed. And I'm going to select the image right away. So upload. Again, I've got this nice folder all ready to go, and I'm just going to go through it sequentially. So image A is of Jamie and I. We're teaching. We're trying to catch people with our bright smiles right away so that they want to click on this ad and see what it's about. Headline and description, no problem. Let's go find one. So my first headline is going to be Get Smart, Get Social, and then the description will be Get Certified. Let's see how that renders. Get Certified. And then I've got my URL there, which is not showing visibly, but it will if someone was to open it up. Oh, and you know what just happened? I lost that whole primary text when I went away from the shop carousel back into the manual carousel. So let's just add that back in again so that we can really see truly what the ad looks like. There we are. I'm actually going to pull this up so that it's a little tighter. and that this copy gets right to the point, and that people are hopefully so compelled by us that they want to click on the rest of the ad. Okay, so now we can go back up and we can add in several other cards in addition to A. Select image. Let's do that again. This time I'm going to add these fellas right here because they're really friendly as well, and they're going to be so compelling to see after they see Jamie's in my face. Who are those smiley guys right there? My next headline for B is going to be Winter 2021 registration now open. Got my website URL in there. Great. If I give it a minute, hopefully it's going to look okay. Let's add the third card in here. I gotta go upload because I'm past the images in my library, which is always a good thing too. You can upload them in advance and then just pull from here, which is obviously faster. Okay, number 3, 5 weeks, 5 courses, 1 certification. Did you know? 1 certification. Is that spelled right, right? Oh my. I should stick to copy paste. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add another one. There's C. Add media. Oopsies. Hang on a minute. One thing I can do as well is I can pull these up if I'm not sure how it's going to render and I can't scroll over in my preview. I can just pull it to the top and then see with these nice little hands that allow me to toggle. Put that there. Okay, add media. Let's do another one. Enter headline description. Maybe I won't make you sit through all 10. We'll just go with 4. And I'll come back and add 6 more because I can't not. Ugh. No need to really label these properly. We're not getting any SEO value out of the alt tags or the image names of our copy, or sorry, of our images on social media or in advertising. But if you want to, you sure can. Okay, this one's going to say that, and then limited spaces. I know that's a really tight piece of real estate, or I would make that sound a lot better. Let's just pull this guy up to see if it looks okay. Limited spaces, November 15th to December 17th. Great. So you know what? I'm happy. I feel good about those 4 carousel cards and that somebody might scroll through them. I'm going to toggle through to see how they're going to look on the various placements: Instagram feed, Facebook Marketplace, very tight, but people can swipe through. Facebook video feed looks good. Facebook right-hand column, super, super tight, and it's only showing that first image. Instagram Explorer has the arrows on it, which is kind of nice. And then let's see how it's showing up. Oh, Instagram Shop, that's cool. It's sending people or showing people an ad when they're in the shop feature. Instagram Stories, this is kind of nice. Look at that. I usually shy away, as I said in the last video, from allowing my ads to be shown on a vertical format, such as Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, and Facebook Stories, unless that ad asset, so the video or the imagery, was purposely built in a 9:16 vertical format. But in this case, I don't mind it. I'm gonna leave it present on Instagram Stories because I kind of like the gray and the white and just want to have something present on there. Again, because my audience is a bit maybe smaller here than my colds, I want a lot of placements. I want as much distribution as possible. It's not going to show up in Messenger Stories. So don't worry. If you choose to go with automatic placements instead of manual placements, Facebook will tell you where it can't appear. And if you don't like it on any, again, you can go back to the ad set level and turn off whatever placement you don't like. But I'm okay with all of that. My 4 headlines, I can adjust my placements right here. This is kind of cool too. So I can go on in and I can actually crop right in the ad level tool. So I can add a headline, I can change the destination, or my favorite, I could crop it. This is a bit of a tricky placement to have been editing. If I go back up to, let's say stories and reels. If I go in and I say edit Instagram stories, this is really, really cool. So if I said, yes, please crop it, it could be a little glitchy and you really need a good internet connection and a mouse that doesn't play games with you. So if I say, sure, go ahead and crop that bad boy so that it actually looks great on Instagram stories, let's see what happens. It's going to do that for me. So anyway, don't be so concerned about, again, if you want to go this way and you want to rely on Facebook's cropping tool or editing tool, you can do that. I'm just someone who likes to do it in advance because I like to know exactly how it's going to show up and have it in control. And sometimes it gets funky like it just did. So don't get frustrated. You may have to just kind of play with a little bit and sort of see how it goes. If I wanted to, I could go back and now just edit this guy again, crop it back to its original, and let's not mess with this thing too badly. Oh, Facebook, sometimes you're promising and sometimes you're not. I'm going to chalk this as well up to it just being not the greatest connection, and I'm publishing a lot of ads right now too. So, okay, let's keep going. We are almost there. In fact, we're ready to publish, which is really awesome. We've previewed our placements pretty well. I just totally messed up the stories, but let's pretend I didn't, and I'm going to say publish. So now we've got 2 campaigns rolling, one at $50 a day, one at $30 a day, that's targeting people who have already engaged with our ads or our website, and we're getting them to the finish line. The things that we didn't address in this video are those exclusionary ads. So really take that seriously. You don't want to keep serving up this ad telling people to register or buy or shop now or subscribe if they've already done that. And that's where those exclusionary pages, audiences, pixels, etc. can be really, really helpful, and they're not that hard to figure out. So that's your challenge, to ensure that you include that, and I will see you in the final video where we create our hot ad campaign. Thanks.